Is that SpongeBob scene? Hi, welcome back. It is King of the Being. For once in a long, long time, I'm the king of said being.
Fair and square.
Fair and square-ish. With me, we have Ian, and then we have Ryan, and I am your host, Joshua. So today's topic at hand.
Yeah.
I want to talk about something that we all do from time to time. We have a good time.
Snuggling blankets.
Yeah.
Fart?
No.
Did you say fart?
Yeah.
But
We do it from time to time.
we're going to talk about board
Some way or
games. People.
What's a
Board
board
games.
game?
Board games are things of board variety.
Are games played on a board?
Yeah. Who would have thought? Yeah.
Does this exclude card games?
That is a good question.
That I would say so. Not all card games are board games, but a lot of board games do have cards.
But I mean, like the magician fighting thing. Does that count? Or
Oh,
not?
yeah. I would consider that a board game.
Okay.
So,
But not
yeah,
like
So
a
that's a
regular
card
deck.
game because you're
it
playing.
is a
with
card
cards.
game, but I would consider that a board game too. It's under the same realm.
Games.
Games.
Physical
So
games.
is cribbage a board game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What deals with a deck of cards and a board?
It has a board, yeah.
There you go. See, it is the epitome of a board game. But anyways,
It's a good use of a
what
board
are your guys' overall opinions on board games?
I
Are fun.
like I think board games are fun, and I'm so glad that in our adult life we have gotten more into board games. I don't know how much you were into board games your whole life, but
I played.
we played a
nonstop
lot
board
of the
games.
classics, but then like in adulthood we've been introduced to the zombie side.
So our reintroduction to the world of board games was actually because of our aunt.
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
Shout out.
Auntie. And Lily, because she'd
Lily.
appreciate that.
It's true.
But she was looking for things to do. She wanted to be adventurous in her antisocial.
I keep
So-
telling her she's not antisocial, she's just an introvert.
But she joined, she was on the app Meetup with her and her friend Susan, and they were looking for things to do, and they saw like an advertisement for like a board game night. And so she's thinking
it was a day.
day. She was thinking like classic board games, Sorry, Trouble, probably those types of things, Monopoly.
Classics.
And she came in and they were playing a game called Zombicide. And this is like, a cooperative game where you all work together to beat the zombies and escape. And that was kind of the reintroduction. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, when you're a kid, board games are fun, but they're all very simple. And, you play Trouble once, you played it a million times by the time you're an adult and stuff. So it's cool to see, like, this whole other realm of board games.
Yeah, it really opened our minds and our horizons to what was possible. And Zombicide's really fun, and there's so many expansions and so many different ways to play, and we have our own house rules too. Like we've gotten so into it, and it's so much fun.
But she said it was funny because she said it was probably a house of a bunch of people like our age, and this was around college time,
Yeah,
or maybe
just after,
slightly
so.
after. So we were like early 20s,
Yeah.
and our aunt was around early 50s ish. I don't know, but I'm erring on the side of younger.
Safe.
Probably early 50s. And so it was her and her friend, who I think is slightly older than her. These two, like, ladies just show up at this, like, young adult's house, and they're all playing board games, but they were welcomed with, like,
yeah,
open
apparently they were
arms.
really cool people who were like, yeah, come on in, like we'll teach you how to play this game, blah blah blah, and they did. And like Auntie came back and she's like, guys, we gotta get this
And then
game.
she
It's
bought
so
the
cool.
game.
Yeah.
We bought, like, 5 expansions now.
But that's so nice to hear though, because
Yeah.
it was such a welcoming experience.
Yeah.
Which is like a great way to be introduced into board games, especially stuff that's like outside of like the regular like the games that we grew up
Well,
with.
I want to say that's how most gaming cultures are. I mean, I know that video games get a bad rap sometimes for
Sure.
they can be very like misogynistic and stuff, but I think at the heart
And toxic.
of all of it is like we just want to find people
We
who
wanna have
enjoy
fun.
the same things that we do, and we would want to just have fun with each other.
You guys ever see on the topic of like having fun and stuff like that? But you guys ever seen like those signs at like card shops or like board game places and whatever? It's like if you leave your kid alone, they will learn how to play Magic the Gathering. And I love that.
That's fun.
I love that.
Like, growing up, we never went to card shops and stuff, even though, like, next to our karate studio, there was a card shop, and we were very into Yu-Gi-Oh cards as kids.
Yeah.
And I'd always be... I think we walked in there, like, once or twice and saw that they had, like, these really cool cards that you would see on, like, the TV show. You're like, I want that card! But Mom said no.
Yeah.
But, like, nowadays, we'll go into, like, what
Target.
is it?
Well, Target. Yeah.
Not just Target, but, like, you know, the treasure chest or whatever at the mall or whatever. And it's all about board games and card games and
It's
all that
cool.
stuff. And it's really cool.
And they host like events too all the time.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up something. I haven't played this before, but I'm wondering if you have. Have you played Warhammer at all?
Yeah.
That's a game, right? Like
Yeah,
a video game?
It's
It
a
is a
video
video
game, but
game.
it's based on a board game.
Yeah.
But it's also like a huge part of it is building the minifigures
Yeah,
and painting them and stuff.
It's all about.
Oh, my old coworker loved painting and doing the minifigures. Like,
My
he posts
buddy
that on
Adam
Instagram.
recently.
Shout out to Cody.
Yeah, shout out to Adam too. I know you don't watch. That's okay.
I know Cody doesn't watch either.
But but I guess he recently had like, because he does streaming and stuff for board games. He does a lot of tabletop games like like D&D, but their thing is more Pathfinder, which is like a version of D&D.
Yeah.
That's what they do a lot, and so he gets sponsored sometimes to do stuff like this, and the people he does this stuff with. And so I guess he got sponsored for Warhammer stuff. And he was, last time I saw him, he showed me all this stuff. It's really cool. He's like, but dude, building these minifigures is freaking ridiculous. He's like, they're so small and they fit together and all. And he's like, it's really cool how it's engineered, but oh my god, is it ridiculous? And he's like, I am not painting them. I'm not painting them. I'm just not doing it. And he's like, I just spent hours putting these things together, but they're really cool.
Yeah.
And they're really well designed. And
I wonder
like,
if you could just 3D print the little minifigures now.
well, because they're all constructed in ways where, like, you know, the one arm like attaches to the back and the face slides in, and then the other arm slides, and like they're all like engineered to fit together in particular ways, so they don't like come apart or whatever, break very easily. But it can be very difficult to put them together because there are, and I guess like some of the edges are like really pointy. He's like, dude, I cut my fingers so many times on these pieces, but like it's really cool, and I'm like, I would love to like play Warhammer sometimes. Like, it seems like it's a lot of work and a lot of setup, but I know that at card shops and stuff like that, there's a lot of like Warhammer stuff. And I know like Henry Cavill, the actor, is super into Warhammer, and he's getting into, like, after they ditched him from Witcher, he's now gonna do Warhammer stuff, like in movies and TV and stuff.
Watch that.
He's a
Yeah, exactly.
He's a big
He's a big nerd.
He's
He
awesome.
is.
And
Shout
I
out
love
to
that.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
You want to be on our podcast?
We'll play.
We'll do whatever you want.
We'll do whatever you want. I just want to get to know you because you seem really cool.
He plays D&D.
He like built his own computer, didn't he?
He
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Shirtless too, and
Yeah.
that was.
I
the
mean,
whole deal.
why not? If you're Henry Cavill, why put on a shirt?
Yeah, it's true. Anyways,
But yeah, but I just thought
His
like
face
that's
is
such
also really
that's
handsome.
such
He's
a-
not just a body.
yes.
that's such a cool world that just feels like there's so much to it. But I'm like, that sounds kind of cool at the same time.
There's a lot of things that like go into like. A lot
Adam,
of
you want to be on our podcast and we'll do a sponsored game?
I'll ask him if you want. I haven't seen him since.
Or you want to come to a game night?
No.
Does he have game nights? Why hasn't he invited us?
Yeah, that's so rude.
Well, because they do streaming. Like, it's him and his friends, and like they get into character, and they get
He seems like the kind
costumes,
of guy who
And
would go.
like,
with
he
you.
has a
Goes to
closet.
kids' parties.
Yeah.
Well, that's for work. That's not. Just
No, I know,
work.
but he has the
Yeah,
costume.
well, before that, he worked at like a sword fighting place where he taught people how to sword fight,
Can he
but
teach us how to
also
sword
he can, and he can teach you how to do like stunts and like footwork and
Adam.
stunts and stuff too. But he
Adam,
also
Adam.
hold on. He also went to birthday parties in characters. Like, he would be Obi-Wan, and someone would be Darth Vader, and he would go into character. He's a huge character actor guy. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Adam's great. My best buds. Love you. But yeah, he's cool.
He seemed cool.
Yeah.
We met him
Yeah,
at
we did.
medieval times.
Very well.
Very.
Yeah, I
in his-
know.
Very.
Well,
in
and it
his
was so
element.
funny because you guys were like next to me, but like the whole time he's like, yeah, you could tell these stunts like are made for show because they're doing all these big movements to get the sparks off the thing. He's like, that's not how you would actually fly. Like, he was like breaking it down. It was so funny. I'm like, that's a stunt guy for you.
Yeah.
He knows his stuff. He's a really cool dude. He's a great guy. But yeah, he likes to. They like get into character, and he makes like they make all.
Does
their
he go
characters-
LARPing?
I don't know if he
He
has.
seems like he would.
He
He
might,
does
yeah.
seem like he would.
He might, yeah.
Becky and Freddie go LARPing
Yeah, I know.
with Jill.
Yeah, you told me about that. That's how they met. Or that's what they did together. Anyways.
Yeah.
But back on the topic.
But yeah, anyway, let's bring in
Yeah.
a boy from Adam.
Yeah.
We can talk about him all day. He's awesome, but...
Sounds like a cool dude. Party with him.
I'll just add him on the Instagram post.
Yeah, you should. I'll tell you his Instagram.
Okay, so you guys were talking about like some of the games that you guys got reintroduced with. It was like Zombicide, or is that like? Would you consider that your guys' like favorite board game of all time?
I think my
It's
actual
up there.
favorite of the newer ones we played is Betrayal at the House on the Hill because it's
Yeah.
always different.
That one's really cool.
And there's always a different like villain or whatever.
Yeah.
I
Except
don't
for
like the
Ryan.
expansion.
No, the expansion was really not good.
They
I don't-
tried too hard.
Yeah.
It just like the new missions were not very interesting. They were way more convoluted.
One of them was based off of Trump, which was really weird.
Yeah, I
I
It's
don't
trying
like
to be meta.
It was it was trying to be like so like
It was very
woke
American
in like a
American
bad way,
horror story.
Yeah.
and like you know what it's talking about, but it's also just sounds stupid and
Yeah, I did, but the base
took you
game,
out of it.
The base game is really cool and really fun.
Ryan always ends up at the bottom.
Oh my god!
He always ends
I
up
can't-
falling into the basement.
Yeah,
He can
so-
never leave.
So for those of you who don't know, let's tell the story real quick. 'Cause It's hilarious. It's a game where you pick a character and there's multiple characters you can play and they all have different starting stats. And so you have like strength and speed, which are like physical stats, and you have what is it? Intelligence and wisdom or something like that. And so you have these stats and they can go up and go down based on different cards you draw and effects or whatever. And there are some rooms that you go into that you need to make a roll and succeed in that roll in order to, get through the room or whatever. So there's one room called the collapse room, which is where there's no floor basically. You have to make a speed roll in order to not fall through. I did not succeed that speed roll, so I fell through into the basement where the card I drew was like the catacombs or something.
Yeah.
Which you need to make like a willpower roll or whatever
Yeah.
of like a 6 or higher, which is really high when you know that the dice are sides 0, 1, and 2.
Yeah, they don't go that high.
Yeah, so 6 is really high roll to get in order to get through the room. Now, if you are entering the room and you don't succeed, you can go backwards, but I fell through.
So there's no other.
So there's
way.
nowhere for me to go. I can't go back through the floor. And so this happened on like my first or second turn. I spent the rest of the game, not even joking, the rest of the game in that room because I could not get it 6 or higher.
Board games are so funny to play with you because it really shows the difference in luck between you and me.
Yeah.
Because, like, I will have probably one of the most amazing rolls of all time, and Ryan is, like, rolling nothing but snake eyes.
I got all zeros.
All ones.
Yeah, you have to do like a trait roll, and Josh will get. So the dice are there's 2 sides of 0, 2 sides of 1, 2 sides of 2.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan will get 6 zeros and maybe a 1, and
Maybe.
Josh will get like 5 2s
Yeah.
and a 0,
Yeah.
and it's just hilarious.
And
every
that's
time.
like 9 times out of 10 how that goes.
Any game that requires, like, rolling a dice of some sort, I'm just like, oh, Ryan's going to have a bad time.
Yeah, I have a bad time.
Ryan has
Always
unusually
be like,
bad
Ryan,
luck.
do you want to risk it? And he'll be like, oh, I don't know. And Josh is like, don't do it. You're not going to succeed.
Yeah.
Don't do it. But at the same time, do it.
Yeah, but that's
do it for the chaos.
Yeah.
that's
Josh is the harbinger of chaos.
I love
the
board
first
games.
time we played Betrayal with him. Do you remember this? Do you remember this?
What happened?
I remember this because it was really funny.
Nobody knows what you're thinking.
Okay,
Was
no,
it
I
the
know.
time that I killed you immediately?
Yeah, so Josh, so how the game works is you explore this house and you draw tiles into random rooms or whatever, and at a certain point, I'm not going to explain everything, but there's like an event that happens where generally one of the persons becomes like the betrayal. That's why it's called Betrayal at House on Hill. So Josh was the betrayer, and in this particular mission or whatever, like house tiles were removed
Yeah,
at the end of every
Because
turn.
the house was crumbling.
It was collapsing,
Yeah.
right? And so I was upstairs, and Josh had the option to choose which tiles to collapse, and he immediately collapsed my tiles and killed me immediately.
I collapsed the stairway so you could never escape. And there was like 4 spots.
Mhm.
I don't know if you're supposed to be able to clap.
So he
we went into it, and it's like there's no rule against it, but it's
so Josh is
move.
like, yeah, I'm obviously gonna do that, so
Yeah.
Ryan dies, and I'm like, oh, this is how he plays games.
Games are such a fun place to just go full chaos in.
Yeah,
Josh is the harbinger of chaos.
he really is. Josh just like stirring the pot.
Because it's so fun. It's so funny.
Well, you're never on the receiving end of it.
Well, cause also if I'm something bad happens to me, like that sucks.
Yeah.
All right, I'm okay with it.
That's what I've learned to be. Maybe that's why I'm not super competitive, because I'm like, it's not gonna go my way anyway. So like, well, I'm just gonna have fun with things.
Meanwhile, if I do something against this guy over here,
Oh yeah, he gets
like
mad.
God forbid,
God forbid.
you sir are so competitive that God forbid I do something to win.
But that's a fun game. I like that.
No,
game. I do like Zombicide a lot.
It just gets
too.
annoying when it feels like everybody's just choosing me to be funny, but when you're on the receiving end of that, it's not very funny.
It is to me.
That's because you're not on the receiving end.
No, because even if I am on the receiving end, I'm just like, this is fucking hilarious. Like, do it. Fuck it. See how that goes. Try me, bitch.
No, but like I said, it's like when you're constantly on the receiving end, it just feels like you're the one being picked on all the time, and that's not fun.
Sure. I can get that.
Can I talk about? I don't know if this is relevant, so you can veto it.
Okay.
The Mario Party incident with the warp tube.
It's not. It's a video game, so I'm gonna
you
say
can veto
no.
it. Okay, you can veto it.
It is technically on a
It's
board.
a board.
Though.
Yeah, that's why it was relevant to luck. But you
I
can
will
veto
say
it.
it's very funny. This is very brief, but every time we've teamed up on Mario Party so far, we find hidden blocks.
You too.
Yeah, and we always win.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
He's here. But
I
yeah.
don't have to get mad at him for
Oh yeah, because you're on my team.
going against me.
Yeah.
Cause like okay, so when we started dating, it was during the pandemic, and my friends would do a weekly game night, /movie night. We would switch off.
Sure.
And one night, Bree wanted to play Cards Against Humanity, right?
Which is
So
a
I'm like,
board game, yeah.
So I'm like, oh, can
It's a
Josh
card
play? It's a
game.
card game. Yeah. But it was on the internet because none of us live near each other.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm picking cards when Josh is like the guy with the white card, with the prompt, and I'm picking cards that I'm like, oh, I know he likes this or whatever. Like I'm curating my responses to the player, and he always picks somebody else's, and I'm like,
And he's so upset.
I'm
Yeah.
like, bruh,
He's
I
still
am.
mad.
I'm like
Yeah.
hand feeding you these things, and he just never picks mine, and I'm like,
I don't like playing subjective games with you. Games that are very subjective to the person. I hate playing games with you on that.
That's kind of fair. Because I think you're picking cards that you think Josh will like because it's like, oh, it says Stitch or whatever, just as an example. But Josh is probably plays the game picking cards that in that moment he thinks is funniest or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you need to play to the way he plays the game in order to be successful. Not just picking superficial things that he recognizes.
But yeah, board games. But yeah, I played board games since like I was a teenager because my brother Art is really into board games.
Yeah, he is.
And he has like a whole collection of board games that are literally just collecting dust at this point.
No, we started doing some game nights.
Oh yeah,
We're
no,
getting some of the dust rubbed
when
off.
we've gone on trips, we take the bag from his place and
yeah, because he has a bunch of fun games that he plays. But like growing up, I like played all these games. I played, wow, I'm blanking on it. Smash Up is one of them. It's a nice card game where you make a deck based off of two different entities. So you can get like mechanical leprechauns,
Yeah.
and you get that combination.
That sounds cool.
It's a fun game. I would recommend it.
We should play it sometime.
We should. But like growing up, that was like always stuff that I was like into because that my brother was into it. So I got introduced to a lot of all these weird cookie cutting games. I'm just like, oh, this is fun. And then everyone would come over to my place and we just play board games because Art had all these board games. Like, we'll play these games. It's a good time.
Did you ever play Mousetrap?
Never played Mousetrap.
Do you remember Mousetrap?
I remember
I hear that the trap never worked.
we saw it recently.
The funny
I
thing,
wanna say.
the funny thing about that game is it takes so long to set up because there's so many pieces in this Rube Goldberg machine that you have to set up, and then like the game goes by kind of quick at that point, because I don't remember if it's like dice or drawing cards or whatever to move around, but then the whole point is like you get to the end and you get a mouse trap, or you try to not get a trap or whatever, something like that.
Try to trap a mouse.
Yeah, but it's just because you play as a mouse and you have to like collect cheese, I think, and then get through the end, but if you land on a certain spot, you get in the mouse trap. And so it's fun to watch the chat go, because it's Rube Goldberg type thing of like, oh, this thing happens and this thing and this thing and this thing. It's fun, but it takes so long to set up. I remember there'd be sometimes we wanted to play it and we would get bored with the setup before we even started playing it.
Do you remember Kerplunk? It was the same way.
Kerplunk.
Yeah. So it's like,
Kerplunk's
that's such a fun word.
This tube with a bunch of holes in it, and you put the like sticks through.
Yeah, they're like little like.
So you have this whole like this tube with like 100 sticks or whatever going through it, and there's balls on top, and I don't remember if the object was to have less balls or more balls, but you would pull sticks and basically it would loosen the balls on top, and then whoever had like either the most or the least at the end of the game won.
I think it was least.
I want to say
remember.
so. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
But basically you're just grasping at straws, trying to not. It's like Jenga, where you don't want to be the one to topple the tower. You didn't want the most balls.
Yeah.
And we would play that at grandma's house a lot.
Yeah. And Jenga we would play too. Jenga's fun.
Never played that.
You've never played Jenga?
No.
Kerplunk.
Oh, okay. I'm like
Jenga we played at the cabin.
At the cabin trip that we took.
Jenga's fun. Is that a board game?
It's considered
It's a
that board
game.
Block game.
It's a block game. It's not an internet or like
blockchain.
Yeah. Did that. I never played Monopoly for the longest time.
I like Monopoly. Monopoly's a good game. I'm putting this out there. Monopoly is a fun game if you play with people who are going in with good faith and who understand that we're here to have fun. But if you play with people who don't have that approach, or who go in and be like, this game sucks, then it's gonna suck. But that's the players, that's not the game.
He's one of those players.
I am not one of those players. Ian and Mom, the last time was ridiculous. Mom just gave up the first moment she owed anybody money and gave Ian all her properties. And then Ian just gives ridiculous trades that no one will ever agree to, and then gets mad that nobody agrees to them, and then gives
He does the same thing.
No.
So anyways, Monopoly was a game that I also never played for the longest time.
I
never played it until like I was like 14 years old. I was playing it at my sister's place. She didn't know how to play it.
I think the idea of Monopoly is cool. I also like all the different versions of Monopoly.
Sure.
Like, you know, we had a Spider-Man one, I think.
I had Pugopoly.
Yeah, he has Pugopoly.
Yeah, nothing but pugs.
Where is that?
Somewhere. No, it's underneath the board games that we have.
Is it? Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, we have, like, I think all the different versions is cool and fun, but in the end, it's always the same game, and it's always gonna go the same way. And
you have to have good faith.
Everybody gets frustrated.
No one knows how to play it. The Monopoly card game is nice and quick.
It is nice and quick.
Game, yeah.
We played it with my friend Bazile and his husband.
Yeah. And their dogs. They weren't playing, but they were there.
They were there, and they were cute.
Yeah. As they should be.
Yeah.
As they should be.
Yeah, never played that.
If you out there want to have a good fun time and aren't going to be mean about it, let's play Monopoly, because it is fun.
No one plays Monopoly to play Monopoly.
That's the problem.
That is the problem. That's why it's not fun.
Josh, we should play Monopoly. Ian's not invited, and we'll have a good time.
I will play it, but I'm not gonna have the most fun out of it. Maybe.
Why?
Who knows?
Why?
Who knows? Maybe.
Josh doesn't like Monopoly either.
I don't like Monopoly either.
You know, I've wanted to get you guys a Lilo and Stitch Monopoly just because I feel like it'll be a really jarring experience for you. Because you love Lilo and Stitch, but you hate Monopoly.
I think it'd be cute. It'd look really good in our home.
Yeah, but we would never play it.
I would take it out and play it at least once.
Would you?
Once.
Yeah.
And never again.
At least once.
Right.
Or like
I've seen it around, and I'm like,
it could be like a yearly thing.
I really want to do that because I know
yearly Monopoly.
I know that they love Lilo and Stitch, but I also know that they hate Monopoly, and I don't know how they would feel about this.
Probably on the same lines of it.
I've opted to pick gifts for you that I think you would actually like. So, but now I know that. maybe look out for that in the future. Maybe don't be surprised when you see it.
Maybe when suddenly we play Monopoly, you know, it's
maybe when Easter comes around, there's a new Monopoly
each
game.
spot is like a different experiment.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. No, I want 625. Give me 625.
The sandwich is
The sandwich one.
Ruben.
Yeah, Ruben was his name. Yeah.
Because it's a sandwich.
No, I got it. I got it.
We all got that as a kid.
Yeah.
As a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the TV show. Like
It was a good TV show. Anyways.
It's not board games.
So, I remember my very first board game that I ever played. Was Candyland. Candyland was the shit.
I don't remember how to play it, but I remember playing it.
What is this?
What?
Well, so I was gonna say, like speaking of Candyland, so for one of my friend's birthday, her name is Laura.
Mm-hmm.
Her birthday is, I believe, the 28th. I was thinking it would be tomorrow, but I don't think she listens anyway. Thanks, Laura. But Bree wanted to make a video game for her birthday.
Ooh.
But I thought that might be a bit much, especially because none of my friends have the skills to make a video game, and like I know how to code, but like I don't know how to make a video game.
Sure.
But I was like, oh, we could make like a physical board game for her, because it's easy to make something in the style of like Candyland, like, you know, you just go on a thing or whatever. But I think that was also vetoed because nobody liked it, or nobody said anything about it.
Timmy
but it was, like,
used to do that. Make like little,
yeah, he would make his own
board games in, and that's actually what my idea was about. Is based on a game Timmy and I used to play, because it's not true choose your own adventure, but it's like you have choices. But, yeah.
But yeah, Candyland was fun.
Uno.
We played a lot of Yahtzee growing up.
Yeah, we did play a lot of Yahtzee growing up, and cribbage.
I think I played Yahtzee the first time up in the cabin when we went on that trip.
Yeah, I think so.
That was the first. Wait, did we play Yahtzee?
We did play Yahtzee.
Did. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was the first time I ever
Because
played.
Yahtzee and cribbage are like our classic family games.
Yeah.
Anything to do with like cards.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. Those
Cards and dice.
Cards and dice and Scrabble.
Scrabble.
We played Scrabble with our grandma a lot.
I cannot do Scrabble. Every time I play Scrabble, all the words escape my mind.
We had this really nice Scrabble board that would rotate. So it was like a big one, and you would put it in the middle, and then you rotate it so everybody could see it, like, you know, actually read it instead of upside down or anything. Yeah. Such a nice way to play.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Again, could never figure out a word on the moment.
Well, especially because you have such limited letters, and like,
and
sometimes like, you never get a vowel, and you're like,
no, I could have like all the vowels in the world, everything to make the word like starfish or whatever. Could never think of starfish.
I mean, that's fair. I always either get only vowels or only consonants, and I'm like, there's no words like this.
It's hard. It's hard.
Or there's like an X, but and then you have to go Chinese.
That is a fun one, though. That's a pretty fun one.
But yeah,
it'd be like Xiaolong Bao.
Yeah, and which is nothing. But yeah, those are one of the old school games I used to play a lot.
Sorry was fun. Did you play Sorry?
Not as a kid. I played it with you guys first time.
Clue was a fun game.
Never.
You know what game was really fun? Seen It.
Seen It.
So Seen It, we had the Disney edition, or I think that might have been the only one. And what it was is this board game with a video component that you would play on the TV. So we'd play in the living room on the board game, and then on the TV, you would put in like whatever category it was. So maybe it was like a movie clip card, and what it'd do is it'd play a clip from the movie, and you had to guess which like movie it was from. And it was Disney movies.
Yeah.
And it was so fun.
Was that the same as the Trivial Pursuit we had?
No, that was a different one.
That was a different one, because I remember that too, and I also remembered we had a TV Clue version
we had TV Clue. We had Star Wars Trivial Pursuit. We had Disney Trivial Pursuit before they were the same thing.
Yeah. Before the death of Star Wars.
Are you guys good at trivia games?
I like trivia games.
yeah,
that's a very different thing, but yeah, I hear you.
That is also my answer.
I hear you.
I mean, we played trivia games.
Oh, I love a good trivia game.
We did. That was some of the first game nights I went.
Yeah.
At your parents' places, we played trivia games.
Yeah, and I think we did that, and then I think the very first game that we ever played was Clank.
It was Clank.
We played Clank. That was a fun game.
In that Treasure Island thing.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
But I remember Clank being like the big crowd.
Yeah, because Josh ran right down there, grabbed the thing, and then we all died.
Yeah, because he knew how to play, and then we didn't, and
learn by doing.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos control.
Chaos is my way of gaming.
Yeah.
We were. Speaking of board games, we had a board game night at our new place a month ago, some time ago.
Yeah.
So
The one with Johnny around me, or the one without?
it was, I don't remember. Anyways, but what was I saying? Okay, yeah, we were playing, and it was this game where, the wolf one. Yeah. Yeah, he hates it for reasons, but that is the epitome of like the chaos game that I can play perfectly well in, because you all don't know who you are, and things get switched around or whatever.
Oh, the card werewolf one.
The card werewolf one.
Yeah.
And that's every time I am like telling them, it's like, oh, I'm this card who can see who one of these characters are, or can see in the...
Yeah, how did you start every round? What did you say?
I gaze into the future.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he's the seer.
I can see into the future.
Yeah, so the game is called One Night Werewolf, for those of you curious. And it's this game where everyone is given, like, a role, and there's certain points where the role can do something or whatever. And so Josh was always pretending to be the role of seer, which, to be fair, like, half the time he actually was the seer.
Yeah, like
but he just really leaned into that. And so he's like, oh, I'm the seer, this is what I saw, just to say shit and stir chaos.
And there was one time that there's two cards that are linked together. So they can see each other. And it was me and Ian who were these people. So we saw each other, I'm like, oh, hi, it's you. And so immediately I was just like, so I gazed into the future, and Ian's like, no, you did not.
Okay. So part of the thing was that I had been the werewolf every turn.
Yeah.
And then Josh is always faking being the seer.
Yeah.
And this time, and everybody kept, like, voting for me.
Which, to be fair, at one time I knew it was him because I can read him a little bit, and nobody believed me, so he still won.
They picked you.
Yeah, they picked me instead, and I'm like, wait, hold on.
Go on.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's the fact that you could read me. I mean...
It's part of it.
It was part of it, that time, for sure.
I had lied, and then I started laughing.
It's because
that's how he saw you.
Well, I asked him a question, and he just kind of, like, froze.
He was
and
like,
I didn't have to
response
for that
yeah,
one.
and so I'm like, okay, he's the werewolf, and no one believed me. And I was right.
Well, because the brothers were all attacking each other.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
They do that, yeah.
It's hilarious.
But yeah, I had always been the werewolf, and these two cards, like the watch cards or whatever.
Something like that.
They get to see each other, and then I was like, no, you will corroborate my story because I don't want to be murdered again.
You didn't get murdered that game, I think.
I mean, I didn't get, even when I was a werewolf, I never got killed.
Yeah.
But they would always choose whoever the jester was, which somehow also made me lose.
Yeah.
Which didn't make sense.
There's some weird cards in that game.
Which is why I don't like that game.
Yeah.
But, it was fun.
It was fun. It was
It
hilarious.
had very Among Us vibes to me.
Very Among Us, Town of Salem, but I think both of those games are better.
I just find it
more than one night on those games, though.
Well, yeah.
Like I think what's hard about this is you have one night, you have one opportunity to have a conversation and make a choice, and then the game's over.
But I also like in those ones how the jester's win condition, he's either the town or like he wins if the town wins, or he wins if he dies, right? Or is it he only wins if he dies?
The jester?
Yeah.
He only wins if he dies.
Yeah, so he has his own win condition that's separate from anybody else. Like, other people can win and he can win.
Right.
But in this one, it was like, oh, if he wins, nobody else wins. And I'm like, that's not...
Yeah.
I also didn't die and I was a werewolf, but...
Yeah, it's very
matter.
strange, but it's interesting. It's an interesting premise.
No. But that...
Also, getting the werewolf, like, 90% of the time, it was getting really hard to lie.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't think anybody believes me anyway at this point.
That's why you go into one bit over and over again.
Yeah, or you just go on heart attack mode. Yeah. Because you know that his brothers, too, just, like, really harp on each other also. So you gotta lean into
If I go on heart attack mode or just let them attack people, though, you would always be like, oh, you're talking too much, or you're talking too little, it's you. And I'm just like...
Yeah, that's what I did.
Was I wrong? Was I wrong, though? Was I wrong, though? Was I wrong, though?
But you also always suspect me anyway. Because you never think I'm telling the truth.
You're sus, bro.
Dude, you're so sus, bro.
But anyway.
But yeah,
it's not my favorite game.
It's not.
I did like the game where you create like wizards too.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
The
That's a
Ultimate
card
Wizard on
I just wish there was more variation.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm sure there's expansions to that or something.
I hope so because it is cool, but like the spells get really redundant.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's nice playing like a card building game essentially.
Yeah.
Card building games.
Deck
are fun.
building games.
Yeah,
I
deck
think
building
they're
games are
called.
fun. I like those a lot.
I agree.
We played that one with the vampire. You're like going down to like eat people with the vampires, and you have like.
Oh
Your
yeah,
option.
yeah.
Oh
What's it
yeah, that
called?
one was pretty fun.
That's a
I
card
don't remember
building
what it
game.
was called. I did okay at it.
He said it was the same people who did Clank.
Yeah.
Oh
which is
yeah,
also
that
deck
makes
building,
sense
yeah.
because I like the vampire one better. I think.
Yeah, it's more.
I leaned into one strategy that was okay.
I didn't win,
I didn't either.
I don't remember.
but I'm the only one who made it back. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fun. And that's the cool thing. That's what I was saying at the beginning. It's like I'm so glad that we re-entered the board game world because there's so many cool board games out there, and there's so many like unique things that, like you said, is not just like Sorry, where you're just pulling cards and random chance of whether you win or lose, or Trouble or whatever. Like there's variation, and there's cooperative stuff like Zombicide, and there's competitive stuff, and like it's fun. There's so much out, and I want to play more. Just board games are expensive.
They
too.
are.
board
so
games are
expensive.
expensive. It's also hard to find time to get everybody together.
Yeah. And then figuring out a good game too out of everything.
Also, I'd like to get like a better board game table.
Sure, I can hear that. I see you.
Yeah.
God, it's got so bright in here on my eyes.
Yeah, the sun's really. The clouds are coming in and out.
Yeah. But yeah, I love those games.
What's your least favorite board game?
Settlers of Catan. I hate Settlers of Catan.
Really?
So there's a story behind that.
Tell me.
So,
Ian's taking a nap.
yeah, he's tired. He's heard the story.
I have heard this.
So, Settlers of Catan, I used to love the game. It was great. If you don't know Settlers of Catan, you basically it's a resource game where you
You're
have to
settling in Catan.
yeah, and where you have to gather a bunch of resources, and based off certain criteria, you can get points and you win. So, I played a game with 3 other friends of mine, and this game lasted probably 6 hours. It's too long for any game.
How
to
did it last that long?
So
Because his friends are all chaotic as he is.
I was in a situation where like I was gonna win as long as I got one last thing. It was this resource that I needed, but all the resources have been got up from the deck or whatever, and so everyone else had it. So I had to exchange with them with other stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll give you 2 of these for one of these. It's like, no, I'm not gonna give you that. It's like, why not? It's like, because then you'll win. It's like, all right, I guess I'll have to figure out a different way to go about
this
this.
game never ends.
It never ended. So at some point, it was between me and one of my other friend, and we were just like going at each other, trying to figure out how to win. His whole goal was just not to let me win, and my goal was like, how do I get around winning?
And see, and that's the thing that I come back to Monopoly on, is it depends on the people you're playing with and whether it's a good faith game or playing for fun or whether people are going to act like that.
Yeah.
Because that's why Monopoly takes a long time too, because nobody wants to do trades or they offer unreasonable trades and you're just nickel and diming each other to death. That's why it's not fun. It's not that the game is bad. It's not that Catan is bad. It's that people are being dicks about it.
Yeah. So it just kept going back and forth to the point where another friend teamed up with him to make sure that I didn't win. And at some point, I was just like, listen, it's between you and me. If one of us wins, like, I'm fine with that. I don't care
if it
who
were
wins.
mean, I wouldn't even care. I'd be like, here, what do you need? Can I just give it to you so we can end this? Because we're 4 hours in, and like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a whole ordeal.
This is not worth the time.
And because of that, I have not played Settlers of Catan since.
That's not true. Didn't you play it with us once?
No, he wasn't there.
Oh.
Yeah. Where was I?
It was
don't know.
Christmas.
You didn't come
We
over.
played it one time. Not this past Christmas, the Christmas before that.
No, it wasn't that time.
Huh?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I was there for Christmas.
Yeah.
though.
It's a different time.
We were at Auntie's house.
We were at Auntie's house, but the Christmas before last year we went to Uncle Tanya's, and then Auntie came here.
Oh, so then I guess it was the first Christmas then. Has it been 2 years since we played Settlers?
Yeah, over 2 years. Yeah.
I want to play again. I think it's fun.
It's okay.
I only played it the one time. But
No wants to make deals with
Alright, anyone who wants to play Settlers of Catan with me and Monopoly, let me know.
me. Starting out the
I got some
Ryan
real
board game.
bozos over here who aren't good sports.
Please be people that will draw out the game forever.
Then I just won't play with you again, and we'll be back to square one.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a One Piece fan. In a world of people who don't watch One Piece, I'm used to being alone.
You are the One Piece.
I am the One Piece.
What about you guys? What is one game that you guys least favorite
games? I asked this question and I didn't have an answer in mind. So, do you have an answer in mind?
My first answer is just Monopoly.
Yeah, I would think that too.
Yeah.
We refuse to play that.
Vehemently. I don't know.
They're
I'm sure that there is one, and I might have just blocked it from my mind.
It was that bad.
Yeah. But I don't know, because again, like I'm used to not winning games. I go into games knowing it's not gonna work out the way I want it to. I'm not gonna get the cards I want. I'm just here to have fun and do what I can do. So like I don't really care that much. Like, did I tell you about the time I played Uno and I had
That whole
30
deck.
cards. I just kept getting
You
plus
had that.
4 and plus 2 and kept drawing cards or not having the color. And the people I was playing with, like, it was Daisy and then some of her friends. And like this is the first time that I played games with them. And so like Daisy knows my luck.
Yeah.
She's well aware of how this works. And she's like, you guys are gonna like just watch. This is gonna be funny. And then I'm
Watch
just
this.
getting more every turn, every single turn. I'm drawing cards. I have not played a card in 10 turns, and they're like, this isn't real. And I'm just like, no, this is real. This is how it works for me. It got to the point where one person like ended up getting Uno and winning, and then she came over and was trying to help me win. It still didn't work out. She's like, play these cards, and I'm like, okay, I'll listen to you.
Do you remember that game night with the girl who shot out to be named?
I do, yeah, that weird
That was
island
really
game.
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, I do. All you guys picked at me. I'm like, yeah, counter.
That was a weird game. I feel like because it's like both cooperative and competitive at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it was a weird mix between like, are we gonna help each other survive or are we gonna attack each other?
But the one thing I remember about that night too is, wasn't it supposed to be like a potluck type thing?
It was supposed to be.
But they didn't
potluck.
have any food there, and we just brought dessert.
I made mac and cheese and then nobody ate it.
And yeah, they just ended up ordering pizza.
Anyways, I feel like we talked about board games for a good time, and then some other stuff for a little bit of time.
And then tangential.
Yeah. No, but I feel like we had a good time here.
I don't think we had a good time. We talked about a lot. I enjoyed it.
Alright, any other little things you guys want to talk about board game related?
No, we talked about everything I wrote down. So, I think I'm good.
Alright, let's figure out what beam is going to be played. What
I
color?
call green.
Orange.
Yellow.
You're not gonna take yellow from Josh?
No.
It's gonna be green.
Don't even stop.
There's a hidden orange one here. But, green, yellow, red.
What was an orange in there? Then orange wins.
Yeah, you were orange, right?
Yeah.
All right, Josh, you're up again. Josh wins again.
No, I was orange.
Oh, you were orange. Oh, Ian wins again.
You were orange. I said yeah, and
because I was talking to him, so I thought you were confirming that he was orange.
Yeah, you do speak for me.
Yeah.
Well, I thought he was asking me.
That's fair.
That's fair. It's okay.
Because you is not specific.
No, I understand.
You.
Dude.
We'll see us again next time on the King of the Bean.
Ian is the host.
Yeah, once again, we'll see how long that lasts. Probably a year.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you for... Where the fuck did it go? It's in there. The top for the screw.
Oh. Well,
Don't eat that.
I'm gonna figure this out, but thank you guys.
so whoever gets the screw wins for the next 3 times.
Wait, where'd you push it?
I didn't push it.
I saw it though.
Why did you let that happen, Josh?
Yeah, why did I let that happen? You're so quick to judge me.
Well, because I saw it on top and then it wasn't there.
And then I handed it to you, and for some reason it happened to you on the bottom.
I lost the nut.
Yeah, why'd you let that happen, Ian?
But anyways, thank you
Why
for...
would you do that on purpose?
Thank you for watching or listening or whatever sound-based thing you're doing this on. We'll see you next time where Ian will be king of the beam. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.
Bye. All right. Good stuff, boys.